Good morning and welcome back to BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today's episode is once again What the Papers Say, and we're joined by Ian Matheson for this week's headlines. So Ian, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Brooke. And there's been a lot happening in the last week. Let's start at sea. Alphaliner reports that container ship operators are reducing sailing speeds because of rising bunker fuel costs. Fuel prices are once again becoming a major operational pressure point for all carriers, and Alphaliner says that shipping lines are increasingly using slow steaming to cut fuel consumption and manage overall operating costs. This isn't new to shipping, of course, but what's notable is the timing. Freight rates have improved in many trades, yet carriers are still under pressure from volatile energy costs and emissions regulations. And of course, slowing a vessel by even a few knots can significantly reduce bunker consumption and carbon emissions.
But you also have to look at the other side. That means a slower transit time as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, Brooke. That's the trade-off, I guess. Lower fuel costs for carriers can mean less schedule reliability and longer lead times for shippers. It's another reminder that supply chains are still balancing cost efficiency against speed and resilience.
Yes. And now speaking of costs, what's happening with container rates?
Well, Brooke, Drury's Composite World Container Index leapt another 12% in week 20 of 2026. The market has been climbing steadily over recent weeks, particularly on the major east-west trade lanes, and several factors are contributing here, which include capacity adjustments, ongoing geopolitical disruptions in global shipping routes, and stronger than expected demand ahead of the summer peak season. I think what we're seeing now is carriers regaining pricing power after a prolonged period of weaker rates through much of 2024 and early 2025.
So are shipping budgets tightening again then?
I think that's a definite. Many shippers had become accustomed to low post-pandemic freight rates, but the market is clearly shifting upwards again. The concern, of course, is whether this becomes a sustained trend heading into the second half of 2026.
And what else have you got for us today?
Let's move from pricing to strategy, shall we? A new Daycar study says nearly half of European shippers and logistics providers now see transportation as a strategic differentiator, not just as a core centre. Of course, that's a major mindset shift. Historically, transportation was often viewed simply as an operational necessity. Today, companies seem to be realizing that efficient logistics can directly improve customer experience, sustainability performance, and even profitability.
Yeah.
The study highlights growing investment in visibility tools, AI-driven planning systems, and transportation management platforms. And with disruptions becoming more common, companies want supply chains that are agile, not just cheap, I think. It would appear that logistics is becoming more central to corporate strategy overall, and the companies performing best right now are the ones treating logistics as a competitive weapon rather than a back office function.
And we haven't mentioned it yet, but of course it's important we do. What's been happening in air freight?
Yep, Air Freight London Gatwick has announced a new cargo hub agreement aimed at strengthening its freight network. And of course, that's significant because Gatwick has traditionally been overshadowed by Heathrow in cargo operations. But this move signals a stronger push into freight infrastructure and logistics services. I understand the new hub should improve handling capacity and connectivity for both domestic and international cargo flows. And of course, it's quite important it reflects broader demand growth in air freight, especially for e-commerce, pharmaceuticals, and high-value goods. And what I'm seeing is that regional airports are trying to capture a bigger share of logistics activity, and there's increasing pressure to diversify cargo gateways and reduce congestion at major hubs.
And of course, we've touched upon it slightly across all of the modes, but when we're looking at the broader market as a whole, what trends are we seeing?
Oh, the broader market, yeah. TI Insight reports that global logistics mergers and acquisitions accelerated in April, while Transport Intelligence said that the European road freight market is beginning to recover. I think it's a sign that confidence is returning to the sector, perhaps.
Yeah.
On the mergers and acquisition side, logistics providers are expanding cross-border networks and investing heavily in technology, and that's especially AI capabilities and digital freight platforms. And in the meantime, Europe's road freight market appears to be showing signs of stabilization after a difficult period marked by weak industrial demand and inflationary pressures. I understand volumes are improving gradually, and operators are becoming more optimistic about the second half of the year. So, I guess that means despite higher costs and continuing uncertainty, the momentum appears to be improving across several freight sectors.
Well, thank you, Ian, as always, for this insight. Hopefully, it will give our members a little bit of hope.
Again, no problem, Brooke. It's always a pleasure.
As always, the links to all of the reports and the articles that we've discussed in today's episode will be in the description below. That's all for today's edition of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.